Okay, and we're back. Sorry about the interruption and the problems with the video. The device cuts off after 30 minutes of continuous shooting, and I got caught up in talking about silver. So, in case I missed it, I wanted to show you guys the real silver spoon. I spent a lot of time showing reactions and what happens, but look at the back of this one. This is the real sterling silver solid spoon all the way through and through. No plating. It's solid silver. The way you could tell is from this lion. Okay, it's got a stamp of a lion. And I was just saying this. It's called the lion passant. It's the passing lion with his paw out in front. And that is an English mark that the English people would stamp on. The English silversmiths, rather, would stamp on their pieces to identify that it was indeed 92.5, as we mentioned earlier, 92.5% silver. Okay? Now, this was the prize-winning piece out of that chest from the auction, and I'm going to go on to talk about gold now because I've got the gold thing out, and I know you guys are thinking about it. You're thinking, what about gold? How do we determine the contents of gold? How do we know what's inside gold? If it's gold, well, okay. I'm going to tell you first of all, gold is actually pretty easy to spot. The thing that fools people the most about gold is the simplicity of it. They say, well, that stuff is too shiny, so it can't be gold. And that's precisely what I hear people say at the auctions, and whenever I point out that, oh, that's gold. A lot of people say, no, that's too shiny to be gold. Well, gold is shiny. So get with it. If you heard what I said, take that to heart, because, all that glitters isn't gold. Of course, everyone's heard that, and that makes for a very pessimistic world, because there's a lot of treasure out there, and if you go and look for it, you can find it. Now you can see my fingers are all colored. That means wear gloves. So, the gold. The easiest way, of course, to identify gold is take a look at a stamp. So if it has a stamp, most people will just accept that at face value. So in this case, look, we have a Devon Rose British Empire ware serving tray. Okay, it's got gold gilding or gold trim, depends what you prefer. I like gilding. I like to say gilded gold, because alliteration is a lot of amusement. So this one says 22 karat gold, and we can just take that at face value that this stuff here is 22 karat gold, and all the way around 22 karat gold. Okay, but what about, if we wanted to test that? Well, there are chemicals for that, and that's just nitric acid. So varying percentages of nitric acid. So we have some stuff that's diluted, and that will be the 10% stuff, or the 10 carat stuff. Percents and carats getting mixed up here. Okay, so what if we wanted to test a piece of unknown gold to see if it was really gold? And this happens all the time. Okay, so I'm going to show you the piece right now. Here it is. Okay, this is part of a teapot tea set collection, and I bid on it at the auction. Again, nobody thought it was even gold, but it's gold plated. We didn't get to see anything. We didn't get to see the stamps at the bottom initially, but it says Queen Anne, Crown Devon, Fieldings, made in England. I immediately suspected that it was gold because it's the same color as this piece, the outline here, okay? And I remembered the color and the luster and the shine, and I said, that looks a lot, strangely, like the plate that we have on our website, and I thought, okay, well, you know, I'm going to bid on it because nobody else was bidding, and then I took the acid, okay, and I put some acid on here, and nothing happened. So I was really excited because when you take this nitric acid and you pour it on something that should be gold, nothing happens because the precious metal, the noble metal of gold, is able to resist the acid. Okay? There's only one type of acid that can dissolve gold. It's called aqua regia, and it's very dangerous stuff. And we don't have any. But if you want to pour this stuff on here, I'll show you exactly what happens. It's nothing. Nothing happens at all. Okay, so nothing happens. But this is actually a very strong acid, and it will eat away at another substance. Right now, you can see that drop is just sitting there. Okay? And I'm going to get some other metals to show you what happens when you put nitric acid on them. So you can see that bubble is just sitting there happily. It's happy to just sit there. And the gold is just providing a layer that the acid can't get through. Okay, but the acid can get through other metals, no problem. Let me show you on a quarter. Just the edge here. Look what happens. I know it's hard for you guys to see, but I can actually see a reaction happening here. Or maybe I'm not. Well, don't be fooled. Quarters aren't gold. So what's happening here? Why are we getting no reaction out of the 10K acid? Okay, well, we actually are getting a reaction. It's just hard to see. And there's actually fumes coming off of it if you look real close. So I'm going to leave that here, and we're going to see what it does. Put some more on there. Okay, now a penny. It should eat away at it. I've watched it before. But it doesn't change colors. Okay, so the key thing to remember with your nitric acid tests is gold doesn't dissolve in nitric acid. Gold is not harmed by this acid, but it will harm practically every other metal that you can throw at it. So what's happening here with the quarter, you know, I really have no idea. I've never poured nitric acid on a quarter before. I can tell that the stuff is reacting, but just not in a colorful way, and I'm going to find out why. But let's take a look at the quarter. Let's take a look at the copper penny. But this one's not copper because it's not turning blue, and that's because it's a new quarter. So I'm going to neutralize that, and you can still see it's eating away at it. Okay, and pay attention. Look, the one on the gold, nothing is happening. Now I've got nitric acid all over the place. I gotta neutralize it. It's all over the place. It can cause some burns, and I don't really want to mess around too much with it. But I do want to show you the color change. So what I'm going to do is take some of the flatware we had before